Hey and welcome to this flight in FSX from Tromsø to Banak in Finland. We're flying today the Majestic 8Q400. I will use FS2 crew in this flight, so I have a first officer. I'm not that familiar with this aircraft and with FS2 crew in combination with this aircraft at the moment, so I'm much better in the 737, but we will hopefully play along. Weather seems to be fine. I did this flight before with a lot of gust winds. They have ceased now, and we have some slight rain with some icing conditions here in Tromsø, but Banak should be really fine. But I will brief on the approach and departure once we get started with all our checklists and briefings. So I think we just hop into the cockpit and get along.
Hi Captain, how are you today?
Hi guys, can we start boarding now?
Yes.
Thank you. I'll back with the load sheet later.
Okay. I think we can start to type in our flight path and our route into the FMC. We will fly, as said, from Tromsø to Banak. Our alternate should be Alta actually, but we got it wrong here in the flight plan. It doesn't matter, I think you don't need an alternate. We have 44 passengers and a zero fuel weight of 21.6 tons and a takeoff weight of 23.9 tons. Weather in Tromsø is fine. We have light winds from the southwest. Visibility more than 10 kilometers and light rain, a few clouds in 9 and broken in 20 approximately, a QNH of 1000. Our route will take us to the Itlin fix and then via the airway Mike 609er to Alta, and from there we go direct to Donex. Respectively, Donex is already on the star to the runway 17 in Banak, and this runway doesn't have an ILS in that direction, only a localizer, so we will do a localizer in the approach. And yeah, in Banak, slight winds from south 180 with 9 knots. Visibility more than 10 kilometers and broken in 30. Temperature of 2 and dew point of -1 and a QNH of 1002. So slightly better conditions there. We have plenty of fuel. It will last for about 2 hours. The trip should take only 30 minutes, and yeah, we will tell a bit more about the departure route and the arrival route once we get there. But first now, type that into our FOC. We will fly the Idlin to the departure, and so we take the runway 19er. This runway has a heading of 186, and we are supposed to climb on 186 to TC700 with a maximum airspeed of 140 knots, and we have to pass TC700 at or above 900 feet. Then we make a right turn to TC711, and then we can accelerate to the maximum airspeed of 180 knots, and then we continue further on a track of 064 to Italy.
TCAS system test OK.
From there we can capture our airway. The initial altitude restriction is flight level 90. But since we're flying under uncontrolled IFR conditions, we have no controller available at the moment. Even though I'm on VATSIM, we will actually climb right away to our cruise altitude of flight level 210. Transition altitude is 7,000 feet, so then we will switch our altimeters from the QNH to the standard pressure of 1013, and yeah, we don't have any frequencies apart from the Unicom on 122.8, where we will communicate with everybody else in the area, and we do not receive a squawk because we don't get a real clearance here. So we will use the squawk code 2200, which is the squawk code for uncontrolled IFR flights. Yeah, and that's it for the departure route. We have restricted visibility, and we have some mountainous terrain around, so we have to be aware of both weather and terrain around us. We will use radar and the GPWS terrain map. So we can see it's correctly in here, TC70, and then TC711, and then to Idlin. Can talk about the approach as well and put in the approach right away because it's a rather short flight. So let's get the map for the chart for Banak. Start for runway 17, and you come from Alta, so we take a Donex 1 uniform, which starts at Donex. And we can descend there on an altitude of 4,000 feet until Balto, and then we go into a DME arc around the Banak, Bravo November Alpha VOR. or DME it is. And on this arc we go to Bilvi, which is the initial approach fix onto the runway 17, and there we have a minimum altitude of 4,000 feet. And then it goes further to Banak, Bravo November Alpha, with a minimum of as well 4,000 feet. And then if we look at the localizer runway 17 approach, here we actually now we see that we can already descend on to this altitude of 3,100 feet, and then turn into the localizer track of 166. If we reach 9.6 DME from the Banak DME or Banak localizer Bravo Kilo, we descend to 2,000 feet, and we should reach that at DME 6.3, and then we descend further to our minimum approach altitude. At Banak DME 3 we should have 900 feet, and minimum approach altitude is 520 feet. This is 3.1 degree glide slope, and you will fly with approximately 120 to 140 knots. So you will have to have a descent rate of approximately 700 to 800 feet per minute, just to keep it in mind. The localizer track is 166, as said already. The localizer DME frequency is 109.35, identifier Bravo Kilo, and transition level is normally assigned by ATC, but we don't have ATC available probably, so we will take the same as the transition altitude, which is 7,000 feet. And the missed approach and procedure is climbing on 166, so on the runway track we're heading via the Papa Golf, Porsche NDB to 4,000, and then join the Papa Golf holding point, climbing to 5,000 feet. The Papa Golf holding has an inbound track of 348 and is doing right turns. I don't hope we have to go around, but in case we have to, we know what to do now. Hour system checklist.
Engine fire detection.
Test.
APU fire detection.
Test.
Baggage smoke warning aft and forward.
Test.
Stall warning test 1 and 2.
Test.
ADC 1 and 2.
Test.
Auto feather.
Test.
GPWS TCAS. Test. PA system.
Test.
Trims.
Test.
24-hour system checks checklist complete.
Hey Captain, cabin is ready to go.
Thanks.
If you need anything, just let me know.
Before start, checklist.
Stand by. Originating checks flow.
Complete.
Complete. Gear pins. Stowed. Pre-flight checks.
Complete.
Complete. External power APU voltage.
On. Checked. 27 volts.
Circuit breakers.
Checked.
Checked. Escape hatch.
Closed.
Nose steering.
Off.
Check.
Off.
Flight guidance control panel. Set. Fuel quantity. 2502 kilograms on board.
2.5 tons required.
Hydraulic number 3 pressure.
Check. 3000 psi.
Emergency brake pressure.
Park. Checked.
Power levers.
Disc.
Condition levers.
Fuel off.
Emergency lights switch.
Arm. 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 Skip.
Fasten seatbelt switch.
On.
On. Departure briefing.
Complete.
Are you sure?
No.
Before start, check is complete.
You forgot the briefing. Are you ready for the departure brief? Are you ready for the departure brief? Are you ready for the departure brief? Are you ready for the departure brief?
Go ahead.
Yeah, we fly the departure route as described. We are standing at the gate 24. We'll have pushback start engine 2 while standing with the help of the GPU, and then we will start the engine 1 while pushback. Travel to the holding point of runway 19er. Flaps will be 5. We use anti-ice level 2 and nav as navigation source. So we fly with the FMC. And top power bleeds will be on, and we have weather and terrain to be aware of. Up to 80 knots I will stop for any cautions and warnings. From 80 knots to V1 I will only stop for engine fire or engine failures, and from V on we are committed to take off, and then we'll deal with the emergency once we're airborne and stabilized. Any questions?
No questions.
Engine start checklist.
Battery master main auxiliary standby.
On.
Doors fueling lights.
Closed and out.
Anti-collision light.
Red.
APU bleed.
Off.
Engine. Clear on 2.
Clear on 2.
Engine start checklist complete.
Starting clear on 2, starting number 2.
ground. We are ready for pushback.
We are ready now, please release parking brake.
Parking brakes released.
Pushing back now, you're clear to start the engine number 2.
Start number 1 for me, please.
Starting 1.
Pushback completed, set the parking brake.
Parking brake set. Can we get clearance at number 1?
Toe is free and clear of nose gear.
Yeah, in case you're wondering,
Have a nice flight.
while I'm starting the engine, not having the clearance, but there's no other way than pushing this plane back apart from the inbuilt pushback feature of the Jeep, but this doesn't really it's not really the procedure that is used by most of the airlines that are flying this aircraft. So normally the engine number 2 will be started while still parked, and then during pushback the engine will be started. This is since they don't want to use the APU. The APU is not that reliable. They rather start the engine number 2 with the ground power unit and have then the generators from the engine providing the energy already instead of using the APU. After start checklist. After start checklist.
Stand by. APU.
Off.
Are you sure? Main bus tie.
Off.
Ice protection.
Checked. Level 2.
Level 2. Rudertreppe.
Full travel.
Rudder actuator test.
Complete.
Nose steering.
On.
Auto feather.
Auto feather select. Auto feather select. Auto feather select. Auto feather select.
engine rating.
And top. And top set checked.
Batteries.
Checked.
Flaps.
5 set indicating.
5 set indicating. Auxiliary standby PTU pumps.
On.
On. Hydraulic pressure quantity.
Checked.
Checked. Hydraulic member 3 at elevator. Checked. Caution warning lights.
Checked.
Flight instruments and radios.
Set. Checked.
Checked. Altimeters.
1000 set cross check.
1000 set cross check. Ice protection test.
Complete.
After start checklist complete.
Clear on the left.
We're clear on the right. Flight deck. Okay, thanks. Captain, they're secure in the back.
Before takeoff, checklist to the line.
Flight attendants, please be seated for departure. notification received. Takeoff briefing complete. Cabin PA complete. Condition levels.
Max.
Max. Trims.
3 set.
3 set. Takeoff warning test.
Complete. Tested.
Flight controls checked and free. Flight taxi.
Flight.
Radar terrain. Radar on, terrain on. Transponder TCAS on altitude. Before takeoff checklist completed to the line.
Tromsø traffic, Scandinavian 3145. Line up and take off runway 19er, northeast departure. Below the line.
Bleedsman on. External lights on. Runway.
Runway 19er, heading 188.
Before takeoff checklist complete.
Check power.
Power checked.
Check.
V1. Rotate. Positive rate.
Gear up.
Gear up.
Select nav.
Nav selected. Acceleration altitude.
Flap 0, IAS 185, climb checklist to line.
Looks like we're picking up some ice.
Caution, terrain. Caution, terrain.
Checklist completed to the line.
$2,500.
Autopilot on. Autopilot on. Level 1013 set cross-check. Set cross-check.
1013 set cross-check.
Below the line. Props 850 below the line.
Climb checklist complete.
Okay, I start already to configure for our approach. The weather in Banak is still wind from 180 with 9 knots and visibility is good, just some broken clouds in 3000 feet. Temperature is 2, -1 is the dew point, and we have a QNH of 1002 that I have dialed in on the standby altimeter already. And now I will calculate our approach speeds. climb of 140. Further on, the best approach altitude is 520 feet. And then we can set as well the localizer DME already on our nav. It has a frequency of 109.35. And you can turn on the identifier as soon as we get it reach it. We will hear the Morse code for it, so we can identify that we have the correct frequency dialed in. Then we can as well tune in the Porsanger ADF for the go-around procedure. This is on 275. Then we have to set in the course for the localizer, and that's 166. Should not forget actually to always set the heading. Keep the heading updated to where we want to go. So, course is set as well. Top of descent is coming. There we will reset our altitude now to 4,000 feet. Once we approach our top of descent point. Actually it's 5,000 feet before Donex, so dialing 5,000 feet we're not allowed to go lower than 5,000 feet before reaching Donex. And here we come. So we go into VNAV path. Since we don't have auto throttle, we have to reduce our speed now. It's very important. Reduce the power and we don't overspeed. Are you ready for the approach brief?
Go ahead.
We will arrive at the Donex 1 uniform. This means we descend now to 5,000 feet until reaching Donex, then we descend to 4,000 feet and follow the star. Then we go to the localizer DME approach of runway 17 This means we turn in on the track of 166 and descend once past Balto to 3,100 feet, intercept the localizer, and then a DME 96 to the Banak DME Bravo Kilo. And we descend with approximately 700 to 800 feet per minute to the airport, to the runway. At DME 6.3 of Banak, we should pass 2,000 feet. At DME 3 of the Banak DME, we should pass 900 feet. Missed approach altitude is 520 feet. Running conditions are dry. Anti-ice will be required probably because we have some broken clouds, and we are within the temperature range where we can pick up some ice. Bleeds will be on, and we don't need the APU. We will probably park at a stand. Once again, missed approach procedure, climb on 166 via the Papa Golf Pashanger NDB to 4,000, and then join the Portanger Papa Golf warning point, climbing to 5,000, and then try the whole thing again if necessary. Any questions?
No questions.
Checkpoint is the transition level of flight level 70. We will perform as well our descent checklist. Passing Donex now in 3.5 nautical miles, and then we can as well descend further to 4,000 feet. Actually, we can dial in because we're descending through the flight level, we cannot dial in it already now, and then we can follow the checklist. Descent checklist. Descent checklist to the line, please.
Altimeters.
1002, set cross check.
1002, set cross check. Fuel balance. Check. Pressurization. Set. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for arrival. Fasten seatbelt switch. On. Approach and landing brief.
Complete.
Complete. Descent checklist completed to the line.
Below the line.
GPW's landing flap. Selected 10 degrees. Fuel transfer.
Off.
Off. Hydraulic pressure quantity. Check. Caution warning lights. Check. Approach flare lights. On. Ref speeds switch box.
Increase.
Increase set. FA notification. Complete. Descent checklist complete.
Yeah, here comes the view at the localizer, I mean. And comparing it with the...
Are you sure?
Yeah. Flaps 5.
Flaps 5.
Gear down. Gear down.
Gear down.
Ready to runway. We're a bit below glide slope. We're a bit slower going down, so we have the mini reached already. And we'll descend therefore a bit faster than assume first, and we'll see how good we can catch up. So we should reach 2,000 feet at 6.3. Flaps 15 landing checklist, please. Flaps 15 landing checklist, please. Flaps 15 before landing checklist.
Flaps 15, landing gear.
Down, 3 green. Down, 3 green.
Down, 3 green. Condition levels.
Max.
Max. Auxiliary standby PTU pumps. On. Bleeds. On min. FA notification. Complete. Flaps.
Indicating 15, plan 15.
Indicating 15, plan 15. Before landing checklist complete.
Set missed approach altitude 4,000 feet. Set missed approach altitude 4,000.
Altitude 4,000. Set 1,000 above.
High, I will hand fly now.
1,000.
500 above.
500.
Minimums.
Landing.
Check.
One 100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Parking checklist to the line.
Taxi light.
Off.
Emergency brake.
Park.
North steering.
Off.
Standby PTU pumps.
Off.
Check.
Off.
Power levers.
Disc.
Condition levers.
Fuel off.
Transponder.
Standby.
Fasten seatbelt switch.
Off.
Bleeds.
Off.
Check.
Off. Min off.
Parking checklist completed to the line.
Below the line.
External power APU.
External power is on, GPU is off.
Condition levers.
Fuel off. Fuel off.
Lights.
Position light is on. Red off. Set.
Emergency lights switch.
Arm. Off.
Check.
Off.
Standby auxiliary main battery master.
Off. Off. Batteries off.
Parking checklist complete.